I'm going to start the demo and then people can just join in, but we've only got half an hour. So just a little bit of housekeeping before we start. There's a chat box in this session, so please ask questions as we go along. All questions will be answered after the demo, but we have it on recording, so we'll get back to you straight away. And my email is also going to pop up on the screen, so please feel free to email me directly if you prefer to ask questions that way. I'm going to start just with a quick slide deck, which is going to give a really quick overview of Cintra as a company and our HR offering, how the integration works, etc. And then we're going to jump straight into the demo because obviously we only have half an hour, and the reason you joined is because you want to see the system, not a PowerPoint. So just quickly whizzing through this. So here at Cintra, we are a HR and payroll company. We offer both outsourced and in-house payroll. We're based in the Northeast, so we're in sunny Newcastle, and we have been around for 40 years. We're part of the PSSG group, so we are private equity backed, always investing a lot in our software. We also have partners, and so you can see at the bottom the partners that we partner with too. So if you have come across Cintra before, you would have seen that a few years ago our HR was very basic and lacking, but our payroll has always been very strong. So we made a company-wide decision, instead of investing 5 years of our time building a HR product that is just in line with the competition out there, why don't we invest in building a partnership with a company who already has the software, which is best of breed? And that's exactly what we did. So we partnered with a company called Untitled HR. The reasons, obviously there were millions, not just these 3 reasons we partnered with them, but we all have an aligned vision. We want to make our software best in breed, seamless, automated, and as user-friendly as possible. We are similar size organizations, so we have about 150 employees, and we had a strong desire to integrate our solutions. How does the partnership work? So obviously when you hear it's 2 companies joined, you might have some doubts about that, thinking, I don't want to be speaking to a million people about my problems. It's not that. So we branded our HR as Cintra HR as opposed to IntelliHR, just to really emphasize that fact that you've got a single point of contact. Even though we've got the double expertise around there, you will feel as though it's just with ourselves. So no need to worry about where the responsibility lies with what company. You've just got a single point of contact, making it really, really nice and easy for you. In terms of the integration, so we are fully integrated. So what that means is you would enter all of your information on Cintra HR, so starters, leavers, salary changes, etc., and that automatically flows through to the payroll. So there's no need for double entry. That's obviously reducing all the manual effort and stress worrying about if things have been entered properly. They have been, and just at one point of entry for you. So that, I said it was quick, so that's going to be the presentation. Like I said, my emails are at the bottom, so that's phoebe.aston@cintra.co.uk. So if you do have any further questions, please just drop me a line. I can set up a call with us. So I'm now just going to move you around and jump into the demo itself. So this is Cintra HR. Just housekeeping, it's single sign-on and multi-factor authentication. I'm also logged in as a system administrator, so head of HR if you like, so I'm going to be able to see everything. If we just start with the dashboard here, I appreciate this is in your way a bit, but I'm just going to move it around as we go. So this is what employees see at a glance as soon as they log in. This page is highly customizable. So we've got your tiles at the top, which are click-throughs. We've got an overview of the tasks, goals, training for an employee. Again, that would just be matched to align with your business culture, their team, and anything outstanding at the bottom. So like I said, really customizable. So if learning and development, for example, is a huge part in your organization and you already have a partner that you use for that, we can pop a little tile here, which would go straight to that partner. So your employees can easily come in, click, and go straight in to do their training that they need to do. The whole essence of this is that we want to make it as user-friendly as possible. That benefits the employee because they get involved, obviously helps the culture of the company, and also you'll see towards the end of the demo when we go into the analytics, you need people to be as involved as possible because that's going to really improve your reporting and the data you have. That is going to drive those analytics for you. On the side here, you'll see that we've got a org chart. So this is a live org chart. So no need to have a static one or a PowerPoint one that you have to update. This is automatically done for you. If you have an employee who has 2 roles, they will show twice on the org chart, but they will only be counted once in terms of a headcount. So you can see here, you've got the nice click-through tiles, really, really super easy to use. So you can either filter by direct reports or business units. Having this live org chart is mission critical working in today's world. Obviously, everybody's remote. It's really hard to know who's in your team. So particularly as a new starter, this gives a really, really in-depth view as to who sits within what team. So yeah, just really, really super easy. And you can see the tiles go both ways. Building on that, if you want to filter by an employee job role to see who sits in finance, for example, we have an active directory. So this will show all of your employees in the organization here. We then have these filter drop downs. So you can see here if we wanted to filter by a business unit, for example. And then here, if we just wanted to look at accounting, we would add that filter. And this is just going to show everybody in accounting. Again, in today's world, this is particularly useful. I'm now going to jump onto an individual's profile. Apologies for the Wi-Fi. I've chosen a room upstairs away from everybody, so there might be a slight lag. So here, this is great for individual's profile because you have a centralized data stored. It's going to be stored in a secure way, and employees have 24 hours access to this. So we've got their profile here where all of their information is captured. Again, this is really customizable. So if you want to start to capture more diversity information or anything like that, we would just build that in for you. You can then see the different tiles along the top. So if I just go into job quickly, you're going to be able to see a timeline of that employee's history. So we can see their current role. We have sensitive information that will be concealed, and you can just click to reveal that. So we can build security features in and around this. And we then have a timeline. So this is going to show where they've worked in the organization, obviously very self-explanatory, like this. We then have a qualifications tab. So if you need certain qualifications within your organization, whether that be driver's license, DBS checks, anything like that, that's all going to show on this screen here. And we've got a traffic light system, so we know if it's in date, if it's coming up to need renewal, or actually if it's out of date and you need to sort yourself out and get that renewed. I'm just going to jump onto another individual's profile just to show you the performance aspect, which is the last thing that I'm going to do on this. Again, I just want to emphasize, we've only got half an hour, so this is very, very, very high level. But if you would like another second in-depth demo, because we are going to whiz through this, then please do reach out and we will book that in for you. So, performance report. This is, we're trying to transform the way that people view performance reports. Obviously, managers typically see doing a performance report as a massive admin task. You don't want to do it, it's going to take hours of paperwork. And we've completely revolutionized that by having online check-ins for employees to come and do. So that one-to-one can actually be spent really having an effective time, an effective conversation about how that employee is doing, how they're progressing, as opposed to having to scribble on a piece of paper. This is shown, the performance report, in really, really nice, easy graphs, very visual. So I'm just going to go down here so you can see the performance over time. And then again, this is customizable. So The aspects you'd like to show in that performance report, we will show. You've got your goal-based performance indicators here, all the KPIs, your employee satisfaction rates, and your check-ins. So employees, you can, I'll go through a pulse in a moment later on, which is an automated process, but you can send out regular pulses, so regular check-ins for employees to say how they're finding their job, if you wanted that to be monthly or quarterly, etc. And this would all log that history and show here. So just a great way to keep an overview. It's great for the employee because they obviously will really valued about it. And also as a company, you've got a clear track of how everybody finds the company culture, which obviously if it starts to dip, you know, there's something you need to improve on there. Again, if we just look at the side here, I'm just going to jump back into the HR administrator role. We then have a compliance drop down here. So when I showed you the qualifications that you can see on the screen here, this qualifications tag for administrators gives a holistic view of the company. You can see what percentage of the company are compliant, non-compliant, expiring soon. So that's just alleviating that stress of having to go through and individually check an employee how compliant they are. You've got that view there, and you can drill into these as well. So if I just wanted to look at who needs a DBS check, I've just clicked on the DBS and that's told me that Caleb and Robert both need to do that. When you do know that for a specific role that employees are going to need to have a certain qualification, we can build that into a workflow. So again, on the side, I've just got an automation drop down here. And we've got workflows. So this is going to automate the process and alleviate pressure for your administrators. We would do all of your workflows for you and show you how to do them during the implementation. So our implementation, we have a very much a consultative approach. So we work with you, find out about what's important to you with the onboarding process, offboarding process, etc. We build that in, and again, if you did want another demo, we can show you how to create a workflow and the sort of aspects we put in there. But I'm just going to show you an example of a onboarding one. So if we look at a new permanent onboarding workflow here, we can see that 14 days before the employee needs to start, they need to order a uniform. 7 days before, they need to do the reference compliance checklist, etc. And then this is going to flow through for the first day, 3 days in, a month in during their probation. So that is automatically going to tell them what they need to do. So you know, from an administrator's point of view, that everything is in hand, everything's sorted. So again, saving you time, it's an automated process, and it's a really, really good experience for the employee because everything is just going to happen really, really clear, nice and easy for them to do. You can obviously go and edit your workflows as well, and this can be done, like I said, throughout any process. So for example, in offboarding, if you need to collect equipment, if you need to collect your laptops and mouses, etc., we'd pop that in that on the day of leaving they need to return this. You can put the address in where they need to return all the equipment to, etc. We then have pulses. So a pulse is basically anything that you want to happen on a routine basis. So obviously we looked at that performance. So if you need a one-to-one check-in, if your company does that quarterly with their managers, then you would set a pulse. So quarterly, all employees are going to get a notification to complete a check-in form. This can also be the same, a pulse for reminding people that they need to renew a qualification. So we looked at the DBS. So you can put on a pulse, you can trigger it so that if something is 2 minutes out of expiring, there is an email sent every day for a week saying, please renew. And that's just going to automate that process, give them the reminders so you know that that's all in hand. Again, on another demo, I can show you how to schedule a pulse, but this also would be built for you during the implementation and show you how to do it. I am not a tech savvy person and I can schedule a pulse, so I'm sure you would all be fine at doing that as well. So hopefully so far you've seen how user-friendly the system is to use. it looks great, but it also does great things. So the key driver behind this tool is how powerful the analytics are. So we have 30 reports as standard on the analytics. These are all really dynamic. I'm just going to wait for it to load, and I'm just going to show you a couple of examples around the sort of reports that we have. So the first one I'm going to show you is a workforce headcount. So if we just click into this here. So this, apologies, I know the screen's getting annoying. It's going to show your total workforce, your leaders, the gender, etc. And then give you this breakdown here, so you can see how the workforce is trending, the work type, class, gender, leave status, all the way down to generation. And the fab thing about this is you can click into each aspect, and that is going to change the view that you're looking at. So if you wanted to look at generation X, and then I just want to look at, I don't know, say people in the ages of 45 to 49, again, you can see everything is dynamic, and that's moving with me as I go. And then the tiles across the top that I've given you that high level overview have changed to fit your filter requirements. We've got this icon here. So what you can do with this information is filter it down even further. So I've got this setting tool here. And here is just a really, really easy way to click and take out any information you don't think is relevant, include information you want to see being relevant. This can then be applied, and this can be exported to an Excel format. So you can then manipulate that information as you like. I'm going to show you the annual remuneration. So this is going to show you annual rem. So you can see annualized total at the top again. These tiles at the top just giving a really, really nice, quick, high-level view for this. What I would say about the analytics and this whole system, we can build in security and permission features. So if it's important for your finance team to have full access to the analytics, for example, but you don't want them to be able to go and edit employee information, see people's salaries, whatever it might be, we can build that in. So those aspects are blocked off, and they can just come and view the information that they are allowed to see. Again, we've got the trending graphs, headcount, work type, work class. And again, you can click through all of these, and that data is going to filter with me as I go. Got a attrition. It would help if I could spell. So we've then got your attrition analysis. This shows you a really, really nice trend over time of how your monthly attrition is trending. Again, these graphs, if you wanted these to be displayed differently, we can do that for you. And you've obviously got the icon that I showed you before, where you can go and drill down and export to Excel. That's on every single report. So no need to worry about if it's just on certain ones. The one that our customers love is employee satisfaction. So at the start, I mentioned how important it was for employees to really, really feel engaged with this Cintra HR. And we can do that by obviously sending out those pulses, like I said, those check-in forms. All of that information is going to be captured, and it's going to show you here how people are finding everything. So again, we've got this job which is showing, and obviously goes without saying how important this is going to be for if you've got a high turnover. You can then look at why that is. If you're retaining, like vice versa, if you don't have a high turnover, you can then look at, okay, what do people really, really love, and how can we build on that? So a really great exercise for your company to go through. So we can see how the satisfaction is trading, employee by tenure. And here, so obviously the demo site, so we've got some jokers here, but yeah, you can have on the check-in form, you can just pop in, employees can say keywords that they think represent their business. The ones that obviously come most frequently are going to be the larger ones, Again, just giving you that holistic view as to how everybody finds your organisation. So that was the high-level demo. We actually finished a bit sooner, and I don't know how, because when I rehearsed it, I was taking a lot longer, so I'm glad I didn't go over and waste your time. But I'd just like to emphasise that obviously you've seen how user-friendly it is. We want people to use this and capture as much data as possible. And in terms of the implementation, it is very much a consultative approach. So we would have numerous workshops with you and your colleagues to find out how you want the software to be built, what's important to you, how are you currently running your processes, etc. Cintra HR also has an open API, so highly integratable with different systems you're using. And 9 times out of 10, if, let's say, the company using for like an LAV don't have an API, we will always find a workaround to how we can integrate. So that is the demo. Thank you very, very much for your time. I just want to emphasize again that if you would like a follow-up demo, a more in-depth one, then please do get in contact and use the chat box if you have any outstanding questions. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much, and I hope you all have a lovely day.